The worms are in their new home. They're comfortable, I can tell, because the temperature is approaching 25 Celsius, which is the sweet spot for red wrigglers. And they're starting to move around in this new decomposing organic matter that I have in here. For mild winters, above -20 and most of the time you're above zero, a simple bubble wrap around here or tarp to protect the worms from the biting winds is a great way to go. If you live in zone 5, then this crate method that I have over here, this vermicomposter that's buried in the ground, is a great strategy for keeping the worms alive over winter when it's cold. Simply by covering with wood chips or straw, have a lid, and that way your worms are comfortable in the wintertime, and then you can take them out the next year and introduce them to your worm tower again. And for those of you in extremely cold climates, you're going to have to take them into the garage or indoors and have your worms in a protected wormery in those areas. If you're concerned about fruit flies, then one way to deal with that is keeping the top covered at all times with some wood chips or woody materials so that the flies can't access the decomposing matter. And we've already talked about rats. We have the mesh, we can put mesh at the bottom, and on the top we can cover with a lid to keep the rodents out. I want to make sure your composter doesn't turn into a bacterial sludge of slimy, gooey messiness. And the way to maintain that is with an ample supply of wood chips. And I keep going back to the importance of fungal dominant compost. That's the way you're going to create that. So if you notice that your worms are overwhelmed with food, hold off a little bit. Don't give them too much. Wait till the population increases, and that actually happens really, really fast, and continue to apply carbon-rich materials to your compost. Okay, let's talk about harvesting the worm compost, which is what we're really doing this for. We're going to get a lot of the material falling along the sides here, and that's going to happen in probably a month or two, given that the weather's going to warm up. And I can use that ongoing for my garden, for my transplants, and for my seeds to inoculate my growing plants. The other way to harvest it is once a year, when you just open it up, you harvest all the materials, and then you rebuild the vermicomposter. And I would say that you're going to be doing this at least once a year. You don't necessarily have to if it's not entirely full, but this is one way that you can open the thing up, you can take all the materials out, and you can use them in your garden. The worm composter at the house is not ready. I'm back at the farm, and I'm going to be collecting some of this material in order to start my seedlings. Depending on how coarse this material is, you could run it through a screen, or you could just simply use it as is, pick out the bigger chunks, and notice I'm using 100% vermicompost. You could mix this with a potting mix, that's fine. I'm going 100% here, and I've got really incredible results from this. Use vermicompost when you introduce new plants to your garden, just a small amount in each hole. Excuse me. And you can also use it as an inoculant when you introduce new seeds to your garden. If you want to go deeper in this content, take my gardening course where I talk about all the biological systems and I take away the mystery of gardening. I focus on week-by-week guidance. I don't want people to be endlessly scrolling, trying to find information from a variety of sources, getting mixed messages. I want to take what I know from the market garden, almost 15 years of growing experience with a wide range of different fruits and vegetables. I want to make it accessible to the home gardener so that people can experience success in their first year. I'm going to take 15 years of experience and condense it into one growing season so that you can achieve success quickly, without frustrations, without overwhelm. And this is my classroom. It doesn't get more real than this. Me in my home garden, which was a few weeks ago dilapidated, messy, covered with weeds, and I'm going to transform this growing space into a food-producing landscape. Thanks for joining me on this journey, and see you in the course.